Hello. Testing. Looks like one person's here. This is the very first time I've done this, so it's going to be a bit rough. Let me go to live chat. Is that how you do that? Yes. Okay. So I've got live chat enabled. And we're ready to go. Is anybody in here yet, by the way? I know one person was waiting, I think. I chill until people start making their way in, basically. Enough people said yes, hello, that they, like to do this, so. Oh, hey, Peapot Fairy. Hello. Can you hear me all right? Is this volume good? I've got it at like 50%. And I can't really hear anything in my headphones. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Let me just see if I can edit something. You sound great. Excellent. Awesome. Okay, cool. I will not mess with it then. Excellent. Yeah, so, looks like 2 people are here now. I'm not expecting like a ton, and I really honestly don't have a plan. I just wanted to, excuse me, maybe do like an hour or so. Did you get your work done last night? No. However, luckily that was kind of a swift deadline that ended up getting extended by the client, luckily. So I didn't have to work last night. I actually have another week, which is very relieving, actually. I was getting pretty stressed. Yeah, no, that was nice. I was able to just kind of chill and enjoy my Friday. We have a visitor, by the way. This is Simon. He'll be making the occasional appearance. He's the star of the puppy break, and currently chill. So hopefully he'll stay that way. Hopefully I won't provoke him. Aw, yeah, he's a cutie. He's an anxious boy. He's a rescue, so I try to be mindful of that. What brought you here, by the way, Peapot Fairy? I love that name, by the way. It's great. Doggo. Yep. Hello. Welcome, Kaylin. THOM. Hey, that's my husband's name and how he spells it. That's always fun. Yeah, the doggo is Simon. I don't know if you caught that. SIMON, like Simon says. He's a good boy. We like him. Also, I'm not sure how the chat looks on y'all's end. It's just kind of coming in slowly to me. I resonated so hard with your video reacting to I Messed Up. Thank you. Yeah, over 1,000 fucking people have watched that video. I think 1.2K now. And the general consensus is yes. So that's validating. You were just saying all the things in my head. See, that's exactly what I wanted, because the thing was like all this shit was going through my head this whole time, like kind of for months, actually. I was kind of starting to look back and question everything about what I'd thought of Jimmy already, just based on how he reacted in October, November, like whenever the Twitter thing happened. And this, like, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. Like I was just having this moment of like epic realization, like a bunch of them in a row right after the other, about this dude that I had looked up to, admired, and learned so much from for multiple years at that point. And just yet again, just fucking another one. I was just so livid and so fed up that it all just came out. Shadows in China, all the emotions. Yes, hello. Yes, welcome. All of the emotions came out. We're chill now though. We're good. Also, I might chew on some popcorn if it's not too disruptive. I unsubbed from him last year during a different incident. I had no idea about the Rachel thing, but I seriously can't say I am surprised. Yeah. So, pardon me. I've barely eaten anything today. The day got away from me, so I'm trying to make sure I like get some food in my system. Yeah, no, with that, the only reason I even knew what was going on was because I was also subscribed to Rachel and still am. I love her. I think I discovered her kind of shortly after Jimmy, actually, like whenever she was still doing like atheism content. That's kind of how I found her channel. And I really like the vibe. She actually, so here's the thing. I think part of why this hits so close to home for me and feels so personal is that Rachel reminds me a lot of my younger sister in a lot of ways, including the ways that she was manipulated and abused by several men. And so it just hit enough nerves at the time, especially because I was like, this was not representative of the Jimmy that I understood. And as far as I knew, like on that Twitter thing, I only suspected it was Jimmy because I knew that he knew Gabby. And I only knew that he knew Gabby because he had mentioned it in a video, right? So like the window of opportunity of people to know what the fuck was happening was so small that it would have gone away in hours had he just shut the fuck up, you know? Like it was just one of those things where I was like, dude, please take a step back. Me and several other people, like I might have screenshots, I might not, I don't know. I got kind of mad. So I would have to go back and look, but like me and several other people, like in the same thread, were like, dude, please take a step back. Like what is happening here? And yeah, so that at that point, like he called me a douche and blocked me. For saying, hey, dude, you're both very emotional right now. Like, please, like, there's no need to attack Rachel. Please take a step back. So I unsubbed right then and there. I was done. And I think I just stayed away from it for a while, honestly, and took a while to process it because it sucked. It sucked. Yeah. So anyway, let me get caught up on the chat here. Hiya, howdy. I have to start things from the beginning. So catching up real quick. Big Stod, no worries. You haven't missed much. Oof indeed. I was a Dear Mr. Atheist follower since the God is Great. Oh man, do they even still talk anymore? Like I saw some whispers about something that had happened maybe, but last I saw any of that, like he had done the fundraiser for her baby. Like did something happen there? She's so sweet. I hope he didn't. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Pop, they fell out too, but have no details. I wonder if she picked up on that. She seems like she has good instincts. Like I disagree with her on the Holy Spirit thing, obviously, because I don't believe in God. I think she has a grasp on something and maybe is assigning the wrong entity to it, perhaps, or the wrong idea to it, based on the framework that she has. But like, she's very smart and very capable and very well educated and well informed and well read and like knows what she's talking about. So I wonder if maybe she picked up on that. I would have to look into that. Obviously, I know nothing about this. I'm just finding out about it now. I think he wanted to stay on Gabby's side because she would have known who Rachel was talking about. Yeah, perhaps. I've seen a theory kind of starting to float around that has kind of some basis. And hey, babe, your alarm's going off. That kind of has some basis that she may have strategically approached Jimmy with it, like knowing that she was going to send Rachel her book. I don't want to speculate on that. But it came from someone who had a reference from like a doctor of I think psychology or psychiatry or something in that vein. I have it written down to look into. Stella Persimetry, welcome. Hi, hello. Did I miss a lot? No, not really. Just kind of getting introduced and recapping so far. I think this posts automatically once the live is over. I just started like at 5 exactly. I was able to schedule it. So no, you didn't miss much. Yay, yeah, yay. We're just chilling, we're just hanging out. There's no agenda, there's no schedule. We're just gonna kind of see where the conversation goes. I always wanted to do a live when I hit 100 subscribers, if I ever hit 100 subscribers, and that happened in days. So let's just say I'm glad I had some stuff on hand, because you guys are too fast for me to keep up with already. It's a little overwhelming, but like in a good way, in an exciting way. I heard he made a joke about her being pregnant with his baby. Oh, that's gross. That's Jimbo, buddy. I mean, at this point, that pales in comparison, but that in and of itself is not great if it's true. He did make that joke. It was icky. Yeah, icky is an understatement, but yeah. Also, sorry if there's stuff on my tongue. I have some popcorn here that I might munch on every now and then. This is like a black hole. So much stuff keeps coming out. I'm learning about the ACA drama with Essence of Thought and Rachel Oates. Like, what is happening? I don't even know what you're talking about there. I know it's the atheist community of Austin. I've been peripherally aware of it, but never invest. Like, again, it's the Atheist Boys Club, right? It's all the cult of fucking Dawkins and Hitchens, and like, yeah, they were brilliant, but they're all stuck in their angry atheist phase and still angry at their mommies. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with it. Quite honestly, like, that sounds dismissive, but at this point I've dismissed it. So yeah, I've moved on. I'll speculate. It sounds like something she'd do. I mean, at this point, with her track record, like, I've been aware of Gabby since Vine. Like, I was on Vine. I didn't ever make them, but I was active on Vine. Like, I've been following Sarah Shower since the Waitress Vines. Like, I still follow her on YouTube and TikTok and Twitter. It's a time. Like, yeah, it's great. So like, yeah, I'm chronically online. Like, when you think millennial internet kid, that's me. Like half of the way I speak now is because of Jenna Mori, Jenna Marbles. We use the Sermot voice to talk to our dogs. Like, we make Vine references and jokes all the time. I have the free Shavakadu sign that's been that way for a year that I need to change when I find the letters. I'm glad people like it. Yeah, it's a whole, like, I'm a chronically online internet kid, and I'm 30, and I've been on YouTube since before it was monetizable. Like, I remember I was making content at that time. I did vlogs for like 4 or 5 months, 3 days a week. So I have a significant backlog of privated videos of baby Tara. I remember getting the email announcing monetization. So like, I'm a fucking veteran at this point. I'll speculate. Okay, I remember that joke. It was uncomfortable. Vix Todd, if you're new, if I didn't say hi yet, hi, hello. And if I missed anybody coming in, it looks like more people are coming in. So if I miss you, hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is a decent room full of people already, so that's nice. Shadows, that whole thing was bonkers. It is when I started having red flags with Jimmy. Yeah, Shadows. Okay, I'm gonna have to go like back through the chat and stuff at some point and like write some stuff down, because I have a feeling I'll find some more rabbit holes to go down after this. Also, I have a beer. Have a beer if you're comfortable and of age, and we're 420 friendly here. So I won't be smoking on screen, obviously, but I live in Oregon, so I'm already stoned. It does sound plausible. I have a hard time believing she'd randomly find a smaller creator interesting without an ulterior motive. You know, again, given what we know publicly of Gabby and given her track record, it would not surprise me. They ate all imperialists too. Is that they are all imperialists too? I'm guessing, because yes. Yay for 30-year-olds. Yeah, honestly, like, I had a feeling for a long time that 30 would be kind of when I came into my own. And so far that's holding up. My birthday's in September, so I'm actually almost, holy fuck, I'm almost 31. This pandemic, man. Anyway, yeah, so I'm almost 31. And it's great. Honestly, so far, I still look younger than my age. I still get carded more often than maybe I would prefer, but it's a little ego boost. And I stay in my lane and out of the sun. So hopefully I will continue to age well. I am an old person. I was involved in the New Atheist blogosphere in the early 2000s. Oh, okay, that's cool, because I was a preteen and teenager. And I'm shocked but not surprised how little has changed. Yeah, honestly, like, especially with the fucking, like, honestly, regression of media in, like, the 2000s, like, post 9/11. Like, oh my God, I could go so many directions with post 9/11 America. Guys, we were on track for something great. And then Bush. If you remember, you remember. And anyway, the ACA mess is when Matt Dillahunty's cult following backed him up in standing up for transphobic nonsense. Oh, I saw a bit of that. That was, that's disappointing, but not surprising. There was a coup at the ACA where all of the queer people in POC left. Yeah, I saw that. I think, honestly, that's kind of when I was starting to become aware of the ACA in general, and still unaware of my own queerness, very much in the closet, even still to myself. But, you know, I've accumulated queer people around me my whole life, because that's what you do when you've closeted yourself. You know, you convince yourself you're a staunch ally. So I was involved in, like, queer politics and human rights and all of that stuff. And so at that point I was like, oh, okay, I maybe don't really want to go there. And again, it's all just fucking debates and call-in shows and stoking their own egos with easily disprovable points that they've debunked again and again and again and again. Like, it's the same shit over and over, and it's just a fucking circle jerk. And it's at this point, in my opinion, relatively worthless. And considering the state of rabid right-wing Christianity in this country, we need to do a staunch about face, and that's my focus. So peanut butter honey, if you're new, hi, hello. Atheist dude bros, it's why I've avoided the community. Yeah, hard same. Like, everything that I've done has been just self-researched and personal experience and talking to people and, like, looking into, like, you know, I'm part Jewish, so I'm learning more about that, and learning even just how much, like, the Torah and the Tanakh were altered in order to make Jesus meet those Messiah prophecies and all that shit. Like, I'm just barely scratching the surface of that shit, and my mind is blown. So yeah, it's a whole can of worms. Like, it's a whole universe, and I've always been a knowledge sponge. I've always been just, I want to learn anything and everything that I can. And I'm finally, like, ready to do that again. And so this is pretty cool. Matt Dillahunty has always been a douche bro. Yeah, he strikes me as a bit of a douche bro. You're still a baby, LOL. Yeah, I'm 46. Yeah, it's weird. I'm like, the older I get, the more I'm like, wow, yeah, we're basically all just toddlers. We're all just toddlers with more and more experience. Like, the older I get, the more apparent that becomes, especially post 25, like when your brain kind of settles down. And then that, like, 28 to 30, my fucks are gone. I'm in my villain arc. Like, this is my origin story. It's happening. And I am excited. Yeah, if anybody in here is young and feeling like your life is over by 30, I feel like I'm just starting. Truly. And I never understood that until I got here. And so there's no way I can convince you other than to say it's true. And you just got to wait it out, and get there. And spite is a powerful motivator. Yeah, I'm 46. Okay. Yeah, you're about the age of some of my cousins, actually. I'm kind of on, like, the youngest batch on one side. And so some of my cousins are in that age range. So yeah, no, I totally get that. They're more interested in maintaining hierarchies than in societal change. Yeah, I've never had time or patience for hierarchies. They're very clearly bullshit and very clearly built on white supremacy and capitalism and colonialism and colonization, and I have no time or patience for it. So I keep wanting to make a video with just all my thoughts about Jimmy's misogyny and how it is a microcosm. Yeah, honestly, like, do it. Even just record it to get the thoughts out of your brain. Even if you never post it, just having something to, like, play back through and kind of help you process and stop ruminating, I would say do it. Again, just record it on your phone. Like, and post it if you want, or don't, or go from there and edit it. But like, yeah, just get it out. Honestly, it helps so much. I'm 38 and I would never go back. Yeah, seriously. I at this point cannot wait. Like, my teens and 20s were not a good time. You know, I'm glad for what I'm able to do with it now, but there's a lot that I would like to be different if I had had the option. You know, like, I would have liked to be a kid while I was a kid. I would have liked to be a teenager while I was a teenager. You know, I'm the eldest daughter of a conservative Christian family, so like there's that whole thing too. Yeah, it's you know, at this point, I'm trying to be the adult that 12-year-old me needed in her life. You know, if I can be that for somebody else, then at that point I will have been satisfied with my life. So, and I think I'm on track with that so far, based on this. So that feels good. I'm 34 and enjoying my no fucks to give face. Oh my God, it's so freeing. And that knot in my stomach is gone. It's great. I can eat spicy food again. True about the 30s. Every decade has a gift. Enjoy. It is a trip. You're so right, honestly. Yeah, it's great. I'm enjoying it so far. Oh my God, it's so much better. It really is. Like, once you get through all of that shit, like, oh my God, your brain and your hormones and your body and your just life and capitalism, all of it. Oh my God, it's so much, and it's exhausting. I basically dissociated for 4 years out of exhaustion and just kind of went into autopilot mode, and coming out of it, like, yeah, oh man, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't think any of us really fully understand how much it truly is, and even was before the pandemic and everything that has led to and will lead to, until decades from now, when people are able to kind of look back and anthropologically study it. Like, I'm kind of fascinated to see how that all unfolds, but also apprehensive because I know it's going to get bad. You know, like, it's gonna keep getting worse before it gets better, and that's not great. I started trying to record something about how I was manipulated by Jimmy's community posts and how his manipulative behavior he displayed has been triggering past trauma, but hard talking to a camera. Yeah, get some distance from it if you need to. There's no time limit on this. Like I said, there's no reason or pressure or expectation, right, on you. Do what you can, when you can, where you can. Even if you just like write it down and burn it, or scream it into a pillow, or you know, anything to just kind of get it out from ruminating, even if you never do anything with it. It's helped me so much with so many things, and the things that it doesn't help with has kind of helped point me in the direction of like what to process. I've also done 2 years of very intensive therapy, including DBT and EMDR at this point. So it's like, you know, a lot has gone into it. This didn't happen overnight. Can't believe I was trying to watch the Sometimes Show even though I didn't like it. LOL. Yeah, I knew nothing about the Sometimes Show. He was, I think, trying to somewhat diversify his content by the time that I left, and I wasn't really loving the political direction. I also didn't love how much he harped on how he wanted to go into politics. And now in hindsight, that was probably a gut instinct of, that's, especially like the way that he leaned kind of centrist, even though he claimed to be like this activist. I was like, that doesn't quite jive, dude. Like, you're queer. Like, what the hell? You know, like, that's odd. That stuck out to me. And now I kind of think I know why. Fix, I have seen people film their hands doing crafts while they are talking. Just a thought, if you decide to film. Oh yeah, I learned how to knit, and even just a basic knitting stitch, like the very, very basic stitch, is so easy to learn. And I tend to like nervously like crack my knuckles and stuff, and I have loose joints. I might have EDS. That's a whole other avenue. But like, you know, I don't want to crack my knuckles all the time. And so like crocheting or knitting, or even like latch hook, I used to do all the time, and you don't need any skills for latch hook. You can get just a kit and it comes with everything you need, and it's great, and it occupies your hands so that you can kind of get your thoughts out, and it helps a lot. DBT and EMDR veteran. Yeah, it helps. It's effective. I like it a lot more than CBT, that's for sure. CBT comes across very capitalist and ableist to me from what I've read. And I'm very, very glad that I found a therapist off the bat who was trauma informed and educated and, qualified to like do this stuff, because I think that accelerated the progress that I made exponentially. So I'm very, very grateful for that. And a lot of where I am today, I owe directly to her. So, yeah, she's amazing. And I really, really value what the tools that she has given me. I really it's literally changed my life. So yeah, if you can afford it, like here, so I have insurance, right? I still have a copay, but when I started going, it was at a point where I couldn't afford not to go. So if you get to that point, yeah, if you can do it, it's big and it's scary, but even just a little bit of help is better than none. And it'll get you, oh my God, it's literally life-saving, in my experience and in the experience of people that I know and care about. That's an idea still, especially as I have ADHD. I crochet. Yeah, I have ADHD too. I've said that so many times. I'll probably repeat myself a bunch. Yeah, crochet is great. I forget how to do it. I knit now because my friend gave me needles and taught me. But yeah, crochet is dope. Your point about MLK calling out white centrists was so on point. Yeah, like they don't fucking teach us that in school. I didn't learn that until college. Because like I was always like, I mean, yeah, MLK, he has a point, but he's kind of like vanilla compared to what it seems like he would be. And then you learn the real shit and it's like, oh yeah, no wonder they killed him. Fuck. And just where that all leads. And like obviously he wasn't perfect, he was flawed, but like I follow Bernice King on Twitter, his I think daughter. Like I look to her as an example of continuing his legacy and continuing his work. And I'm very inspired by her. And, because the whole thing about him was nonviolence applied effectively. Nonviolence applied in a way that would provoke unreasonable violence to kind of prove the fucking point. Like that was what the sit-ins were. That's what the bus stuff was. Like it all had a point, and they make sure that white people miss it as much as possible for as long as possible. And I fucking hate that so much. Like the injustice of that, the centuries of abuse and genocide and torture and all of it. Yeah, I don't want to get mad on the stream, so I'm gonna stop. Let's find another topic, because again, I don't want to get mad on my channel a lot, right? Like I'm down to rant and rave and get it out and process it, but like it's a lot, and I don't want to make a habit of it. So yeah, I'm sure y'all can understand that. Okay. I crochet too. It's so soothing. It's bilateral stimulation as well. Trauma treatment has come a long way. Yes. Oh my God. Even since I was a kid, like obviously we knew some, and all of that, but like, yeah, I still remember. I remember like the ADHD, like Adderall Ritalin scare. That was kind of the prerequisite and what led to the anti-vax movement. I remember that happening and thinking it was fucking stupid, because I was like, no, they learned more about it and they can test more kids for it. It makes sense that, like, yeah, duh. Like, but I was a child and I knew that, like, so watching that happen and all of that unfold has not been fun, to say the least. LOL, I dissociated and came back confused. That's too fucking relatable. Crochet is bilateral stimulation. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. And they always pit him and Malcolm X against each other, right? Yeah, like no, they had very similar messages. Malcolm X was just like, you're not going hard enough, dude. Ignore my comment about Malcolm X, don't get mad. Why ignore it? You're right. At least from what I know, unless I might need to refresh on that. But as far as I understand, they mostly got along, or at least if they differed, they respected each other. I need to go back and learn more about Malcolm X. I need to refresh myself on that. Been working on positive narrative to deal with anger. Like it is okay, but need an outlet, like anything you love doing. Yeah. Weed helps, honestly. Like, it's helped me a lot. So living somewhere, with access to that, and if it doesn't affect your health in other ways, I know for a lot of people it can make anxiety worse. But that has been instrumental in me chilling the fuck out. Things to do, like anything that keeps my hands busy, like as was suggested, crochet, knitting. I'll just like, I randomly made a t-shirt basket, like where you rip up a bunch of old t-shirts and braid them together and then like loop them together with yarn. It's a pretty simple technique that I learned as a kid, like I think when I was a Girl Scout. And so I had a bunch of old t-shirts I was gonna donate. And I was bored and restless, like I think a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, you know what? Oh, I could make a t-shirt rug. So I just got out my fabric scissors and I cut up these t-shirts and braided them all together. And it ended up being a basket because I did it wrong. But yeah, like anything like that, anything that keeps your hands busy. I really like gardening and house plants too. Especially like easy to grow, low maintenance mining house plants. You can propagate those endlessly and it gives you something to do to like maintain and keep alive. And they can stay alive in relatively low light conditions like apartments, which is nice, as long as they have like nutrients and water and stuff, and some sunlight. So yeah, those are some ideas, depending on what you're interested in. Drawing, doodling, writing, like stream of consciousness style, video games, like on a console. Yeah, anything that kind of occupies your hands and your brain a little bit, but not enough to distract you from what you're trying to work through. So it's like scientifically therapeutic. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. I was saying don't get mad because I had typed my comment just before you said you wanted to change the subject and not get mad on your channel. LOL. Oh, gotcha. No, I'm not. I at this point I can like catch myself if I get going on that. So we can talk about anything, and if I catch myself, I'll just stop and we can veer. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. You're cool. You're good. Emotional regulation and intelligence and processing are other skills that I have learned. So I can do it now. I can get mad and then calm down. It's great. It's awesome. I don't get worked up into a panic attack anymore. Yes, I love my plant babies, especially Mr. Prick. That's fantastic. Is that like a dick cactus or something? Like one of those? Thanks. Those are great ideas. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, I hope they help. I love cross stitch and coloring. Yeah, cross stitch is so fun. God, I feel like I was a grandma at 7. Like I asked for Christmas, the year that I was 7, I asked for a chess set and a microscope and got both. How did we not know? Yeah, no, I had forgotten about cross stitch. They make little like cross stitch kits too, and we have, if not cross stitch, I think it might be embroidery in our bathroom that says "Have a nice poop." Coloring is my jam, dude. Yeah, coloring is great. I got a bunch of these, so I started sort of vaguely bullet journaling last year to test it out, and I kind of like it, kind of don't. But I got all these pens from Stedler. That it's a German company, and they're so nice, and they write so smooth, and they're fun colors. And you can get these on Amazon. If anybody, yeah, this isn't an ad, by the way. I just happen to have it here because I use it constantly. Yeah, letting myself play with like fun colored pens again, it is great, and I can like draw and doodle and have fun with it, and all of that. Yeah, it's my hedgehog cactus. Hadn't been watered for a long while when I bought it, so it started growing ahead. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my, I have those. Yeah, aren't they great? Oh, I love them. And I love that they're kind of like soft triangles. So another thing about me, I lived in Germany twice, actually. Once when I was very young, for a lot of reasons. We're not military in any way. My dad's an engineer, actually. But for a lot of reasons, we lived in Germany near Regensburg when I was like in 2nd grade. And then again in Stuttgart in my freshman and sophomore year of high school. So that's how I discovered like those pens. And yeah, I've been hooked on them ever since. I have some glitter pens and I'm obsessed. Yeah, I want to get gel pens again. I used to be obsessed with gel pens. Anybody in here, actually, did you guys used to like I'm going to date myself so badly for anyone who hasn't heard my age already. Did you used to write notes back and forth with your friends in different colored gel pen and like fold it up and pass it back and forth between classes, or have like a notebook of just like notes for your friend group? We did that in like, I think 6th grade. No, Amy too. When I was 16 was an exchange student. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. My dad at the time was working for a German-based company. So they sent us, to Germany. It was like a specific, like a limited assignment. So we were there for 2 years and then came back to the States. I still have my Stabilos from Germany. Yeah. Oh, you might recognize this then. I have had this since I was 8 years old. This is Deedlemouse. And he is a very famous children's character in Germany. And this is just a pencil I got the first time we lived there that I've had this since I was 8 years old, and I will never use it. And Deedlemouse has a very, very special place in my heart. He had a girlfriend. I forget her name. But I think there was like a little show or little commercials or something, and they had all this merchandise, and it's just so stinking cute. And at this point, very vintagey looking now that I'm actually looking closely. So yeah, if anyone's familiar with Deedlemouse, you are my people. The Germans and the Japanese make the best pens and pencils. Oh yeah, Micron pens. Oh, Micron pens. I actually have a few that I have acquired by various methods that may or may not have been stealing them from work. Oh, so cute. Yes, he is. That's precious. Yeah, I love Deedlemouse. That's got a spot in there. Yeah, God, Germany was, I think I owe a lot of kind of how I started learning stuff at an early age, maybe younger than most Americans, or at least most Americans of just my economic circumstance, kind of middle class adjacent. Yeah, I think definitely having that lived experience of just something outside of small town USA really definitely helped me kind of connect some things and learn some things younger than maybe I would have otherwise. Japanese make the best crochet hooks too. Do they? Good. If I get back into crochet, I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm currently attempting to knit a scarf. We'll see how it goes. Oh yes, I have clover hooks. Nice. This is great. This is awesome. We're just fucking nerding out about craft supplies. This is great. This is the most I have socialized in a year and a half, by the way. So dipping a toe back in digitally is actually kind of nice. Wow, it's been almost 40 minutes already. How did that happen? That's cool. We're just chilling, shooting the shit. This is great. I definitely had my eyes open from middle-class white suburbs of Memphis upbringing. I just bought one clover hook and I'm hooked. Ha! Punny. That's great. Yeah, man. So my parents both came from like ye old, Midwestern suburbia, but at the low end, like, my mom's mom was a single mom, and then my dad was the oldest of 4. So, and they're all from Ohio. And so it was, very, very interesting to say the least. They were pretty poor. Like my dad, I think, was a mechanic. Actually, he went back to school a couple years before I was born, and then I came along in the middle, somewhat unexpectedly. I think I was about 2 years early, in their plan, and they were conservative Christians, so they were stuck with me. But yeah, he graduated in, I think, 91, 92, something like that, with his engineering degree, and since then has steadily kind of been able to like either job hop or relocate or as necessary to, like, we luckily avoided the major like 0809 crash thing. We were living in Michigan and Detroit at the time. We had actually just come back from Germany like a couple of years later. I think I was a senior in high school. and everything was falling apart. All my friends, like their families were losing their homes, or their parents were losing their jobs, and they were like upside down on their mortgages, and like all of this shit was happening, and like my plan was falling apart. Like I was supposed to get a scholarship and didn't get it, and like my GPA ended up 1/1000th of a point too low because it was a 3.5, like, on one thing, but then a 3.495. So whatever. So like I got cut off from a bunch of scholarships that I was expecting, and everything fell apart. So yeah, he managed to kind of avoid that by moving to Oregon. That's how we ended up out here. Yeah, but it's like oh man, like that, all of that, and then the bubble bursting and the economic fallout of that, and no real repercussions for the banks or the mortgage lenders or anything. And just watching everything unfold after that throughout the entirety of my 20s has not been great. Sometimes I feel like I'm more into collecting crafting tools than actually making things. I am of the opinion that collecting craft supplies is in and of itself a hobby of its own. So you're valid here. This is a safe space for craft supply hoarders. I have a bag full of beer bottle tops that I don't know if I'll ever do something with, but I will never let them go. Ghost hug if permitted. Yeah, sure. I like ghost hugs. Sure. Socially distant, COVID safe, and all that. Tunisian crochet is fun too. I love this. Everybody's just like recommending crochet hooks. This is fantastic. I feel so bad for millennials. God, it sucks. We got so shafted. It's a wonder that my husband and I have been able to scrape together any kind of life, truly. Like that, when I look back at like everything that had to go exactly the way that it did for us to get here, I'm like, holy shit. Like I don't want to think about it. It's bad. It's bad. I'm so glad that we own a house, because given the way everything's going with the housing market and the hedge funds and all that crap, I am not looking forward to the next like 5-10 years. That's not going to be good. I grew up in small town. School didn't work for me. Yeah, me neither. I always asked too many of the wrong questions. Some teachers loved me. Some teachers hated me. Youth leaders loved me and then hated me. I have 2 sterilite tubs of beads and beading supplies. Oh, I did beading as a kid. You should look up like native beaders, like Indigenous Americans. There's a ton of native beadworkers on TikTok and stuff. And as long as you're not appropriative about it, actually native beadworking techniques are really soothing and really satisfying. If you've never looked into it, I used to do that as a kid too. Again, looking back, I'm like, wow, I had so many hobbies. Again, how did we not know I had ADHD? I bounced back and forth from special interest to special interest like a fucking ping pong ball. Yeah, beading is fun. Or even just like making little earrings, or like stringing them all together, or seeing if you can make a pattern. Like just fucking play with it. It's great. Or just like stick your hands in it. And if it's a big enough tub, just like, yeah, sensory stuff. That's fun. I graduated college 2009. That's the year I graduated high school. Yeah, so you're about 4 years ahead of me, which was one of the worst years to have graduated. It was really tough for my peers. Yeah, I had a couple of friends that were like college age or like a couple of years ahead of me, and they were freaking out even worse than I was. They were like graduating with tens of thousands of dollars of debt and unable to get a job because all of the, Gen X and Boomer adults who were established in their careers and had lost their jobs had filled up those entry-level positions. And so we were all stuck. Like that's how the gig economy was born. We had to make money any fucking way we could. And end stage capitalism took advantage of it. And here we are. Yeah, I hate it here. This is the bad place. I am on the cusp of Gen X and millennial. Everyone hates me. I don't hate you. I think cuspers actually kind of have the most insight. My parents are boomer cusp. And so there's kind of the stuff that comes along with that, but they have done and are doing the work. Like they've come a long way. The only reason we even have a relationship at all as adults is because they've done the work. Like my dad now is not my dad 10, 15, even 5 years ago. And I think we kind of owe it to them being boomer cusp. They were born in like late 50s, early 60s. I love cuspers. I think y'all have kind of the most overarching experience, especially from what I've heard of like millennial Z cuspers. Oh my God, you guys, holy shit. You got it worse than we did in some ways. Ooh. I'm so ready for luxury gay space communism. Oh my God, me too. The Star Trek universe is, yes, please. Oh, Stella, yes. Yep. Luxury gay space communism is like supreme. Like Xenon Girl of the 21st Century plus Star Trek plus like Firefly, but minus the Joss Whedon of it all. And all of that, yes. And the Reavers, yeah. Mm-hmm. And no billionaires. Gotta go. Thanks for talking to us. Yeah, thanks for joining. I'll probably only do about an hour total. I don't want to overdo it, but we'll see. I'm late Gen X with older siblings. Oh, yeah. So you've got probably a really interesting perspective. Again, most of my cousins on one side are Gen X and most of my cousins on the other side are Gen Z. So it's very interesting to be kind of in the middle of that. Please tell me you're a Trek fan. I am a Trek beginner. I was a Star Wars kid and never really got into Star Trek for whatever reason. I think by the time I knew enough about it to be interested, I was just so overwhelmed. I filed it away. But my husband and I have started watching the original series. Like we're completionists. So of course we have to start from the beginning. So we're kind of making our way through that. We're on, I think, season 1 or 2 right now. So I'm well on my way to being a Trekkie at this point. I love you too, so fuck Jimmy, but this has been awesome. Yeah, this is great. If anything, if like even so far, just the positive that has come from this, like it's not worth it, but I'm glad for what we're making of it, you know? Like if this has to be the circumstance, if this has to be what starts my channel, if this has to be, you know, what happens going forward, then I'm glad for what it's becoming so far. Next generation. Yeah, I think honestly, we only really started separating generations kind of after, you know, the greatest generation or the silent generation, kind of when we had enough analytics and all of that. And yeah, I am a generation abolitionist. I think a lot of it is bullshit and a lot of it is deliberate, you know, to separate people and keep us infighting. And you know, the kids these days fallacy is as old as time. So, you know, there's cave paintings bitching about kids. I think like if kids make you uncomfortable, that's a good thing. That means they're challenging you. That means they're making you grow, like get over it and learn something, you know, like kids are smart. I think kids are smarter than we give them credit for. And then I think they even know. So yeah, no, I love the youths. And I love being in touch enough with youth culture to know that the youths bugs them and do it on purpose because I think it's funny. I'm grateful. I'm very happy to have found lots of interesting creators. Yeah, anybody in here, if you're from the subreddit, have you looked at that list of YouTubers yet? I have a bunch of people to check out. And I haven't even delved into that yet. I've already just from whatever the algorithm is recommending me from all this found like almost 10 new people to follow. It's great. I'm glad I found your channel. Oh, hey, Wondernix. Hi. You're the one that did the audio thing, right? I think that was you. Yeah, I think I recognize that. Hello. I'm glad I found your channel from this. You are the silver lining. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. Oh. I'm really overwhelmed by all the positive feelings, guys. I still have trouble processing warm fuzzies. So this is nice. This is good. I found a bunch of great smaller creators out of the whole JS situation, including you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, good. I'm glad you're here. I'm still flabbergasted that there's over 100 people already. I think 120 when the stream started, which is wild. Kids, get on my lawn. Yeah. Get on my native lawn. Get on my clover and edible lawn. Yeah, this might be an opportunity for real progressive feminist atheism. Hell fucking yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. I'm on board. Let's do it. Yep. Let's go. I've reached my no fucks given phase. I am done. None of their opinions mean anything to me. I've already had one or two fucking dude bros try and come in and police my emotions without any regard to the context. And I'm like, dude, catch yourself up or get out of here. And then they tried to pull some fuck shit, so I blocked him. Like, I'm not gonna fucking even give it the attention. I'm not gonna bother. That's not gonna happen here. So yeah, we're gonna focus on the task at hand, and they can either catch up or get out. Yes, my xeriscaped lawn. Yeah, I'm so fully anti-lawn, anti-grass, and have been for a long time. And now that we own our house and can do our own stuff, like my husband is kind of fucking brilliant when it comes to like landscaping stuff. He's got a knack for it, and he's not in that field at all, but he's got ideas, and we're going to do a bunch of stuff and do all these like native plants, including like a butterfly garden. And we've already got a bunch of bees. We had a big oak tree that we had to cut down because it got damaged in a storm, but we're going to replace it. I want to put in like a lilac bush and all of that. I'm so excited. Yeah, we're finally at a point where we can start, like where we've repaired enough of the house that it's livable enough that we can start making the yard really, really nice. And I'm very excited for that. What's your opinion on the Empire did nothing wrong and justice for Anakin? That poor child was traumatized. Oh god, Anakin got did so dirty. Oh man, like he had ample opportunity to make different choices. Like he could have done shit differently had he, I don't know, talked to his wife. Maybe she was pretty fucking brilliant. Maybe she could have had some insight. Good gravy. They just needed to send him to therapy and free his mom. Like you're a fucking Jedi, dude. Take his mom with you. Fuck's sake. Like, yeah, no, that whole thing was avoidable. Can you tell I have Star Wars opinions? I'm in California. Our back lot is still all wildflower. It's all wildflower mix, and I saw 2 monarch butterflies today. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, we have a bunch of like little white butterflies, and I think I've seen a monarch here and there. But yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we definitely want to have like a butterfly garden and all of that. That's so cool. That's exciting. If you ever start a Discord, I'd be down to mod. Oh, thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit of a ways away from that. I've kind of dabbled in Discord, and so I'm familiar with it enough to be open to the concept. But I think I would probably want to get pretty far before I did that. That's so much is happening right now in my personal life, just aside from this, especially work. That I kind of want to give things time to settle before I even look into that. But that's a very cool idea. Yeah, I'd be down. I'd be down for that in theory in the future, for sure. Yeah, we'll file that one away for later. Thank you. LOL Wondermix. I joined a Discord. Yes to Discord. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all right. Awesome. Yeah, cool. I will file that away as figure out at some point. How about that? It's been like a week and a half. Can you give me some time? I'm so overwhelmed, again, in a good way. It's very exciting, but this is all unfolding and growing quicker than I really could have anticipated. Or expected. Hang on. My husband is playing Red Dead over there with headphones. So I'm gonna ask 1 second. I love anybody else like in a long-term relationship where you just like text each other from the same room. We've been doing that for years. Sorry, 1 sec. Anyway. All right, I have a Discord that's pretty dead right now. When you're ready, it's pretty easy to set up. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no, that's dope. I really appreciate that. Again, I like what I've seen of Discord so far. I'm in a couple. I just haven't really kind of been in it for a while. But yeah, no, I'm down. I'm down in the future at some point. Excuse me. Beer makes me burpy. I gotta go. This has been great. Thank you. Yeah, bye, Shadows in China. Thank you for joining. This was fun. We can be patient. We enjoy your energy and good vibes. Oh, yay. I'm glad. I'm glad the vibes are good. Yeah, patience is, patience is good. Yeah, no, I'm still overwhelmed by the fact that a 5-minute diatribe of frustration reached over 1,000 views in a week. Like, obviously, again, I said this, I think in my last video, like, I knew it was topical, but I thought, like, maybe if, again, a few dozen people might see it and relate, and that would be enough. Like, I just needed to get it out of my brain because it had been festering for 8 months and was coming up again. And then now we're here. So that's been a fun development. Thank you. You're so good to me. He's so good to me. Have you discussed your tattoos yet? No, I have not, but I would be happy to. 1 second. It's because you're a salty broad, which the world is sorely in need of. I appreciate that. You know, I'm at the point where I'm kind of realizing I aspire to be the type of woman who would have been burned as a witch because she was a significant threat to the town constable. That's my goal. Let me see here. Yeah, so tattoos. I'm really looking forward to hearing you talk about kind versus nice. I have a feeling we're on the same page with it. Yeah, honestly. Oh, in that vein, we'll come back to the tattoos. Somebody remind me if I forget. But yes, I think so. The more I think about it, I kind of want to make it a series. Like I think I can do an overview, like turn that around pretty quick. If not the next video, then the one after that, because there's actually some new shit developing with the Jimmy situation where I feel like as much as I want to disengage from it, I feel like I have to fucking say something. But that's going to require me talking to some people in the Reddit first to make sure they're cool, because I want to bring receipts and I want to make sure that people consent to their stories being shared, because I'm fucking livid. But yeah. Kind versus nice. I think I can turn out like an overview and introduction and kind of get a feel for what people want to hear in that vein. And I think I could probably make it a multi-part series at this point. Yes, girl, agreed. I would have been burned as a witch for reading too much. Same. So, okay, to get back to that tattoos, right? To the topic at hand. I read the entirety of the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 6th grade. I was the girl reading by herself on the playground. Like, yeah. So speaking of this tattoo right here, it's actually my most recent one or my second. I can't remember. I got these two within a little bit of each other. So this one, it's a leaf of Lorien, the brooch from the Fellowship. And then this is Elvish that I researched and made sure was properly translated and vetted through multiple sources. This was like 6 years ago. So I think I just searched, somebody asked and I forgot to look it up. So if you're here, I searched like Elvish, like Tolkien Elvish translation, like proper translation English to Elvish or something like that, and looked at a couple different places. So this is properly translated Tolkien Elvish in, I believe the exact font or as close to the font as I could find, as is in the books. And it's a quote from the Fellowship of the Ring when they are in Mordor and where Gandalf and Frodo are talking, and it's about the "I wish the ring had never come to me" conversation. And this quote specifically is, oh my God, I'm losing my train of thought. Excuse me. Oh, it's "Even the very wise cannot see all ends." It's where Gandalf is encouraging Frodo. And then he goes on to say, all that we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Bilbo was meant to find the ring in many cases, in which case you were also meant to have it. And that is an encouraging thought. That's a bit of a mix from, I think, the book and the movie. The second part is more from the movie itself. But this comes from both the movie and the book. And it was just a very personally, specifically impactful quote for me. And I carried it around for a long time and finally got it tatted. And then this one, so if you can see, it's obviously Michigan and Oregon overlaid, with very poor shading done, that he did not understand the concept of a soft fade. And I didn't trust him to fix it. So this will be adjusted at some point. But the quote says, "Pack your things." And it is in the handwriting of my best friend since I was 8 years old. She is basically my sister out of blood. We got this when we had been friends for 18 years. We figured our friendship could get a tattoo, so we should. And it's overlaid approximately where Detroit and Portland overlap, because we met in Michigan, and I now live in Oregon. So we did that. And this is her handwriting. I think I said that already. And the phrase "pack your things" is a song lyric from the band La Dispute. I think it's from the song "Said the King to the River." The best way I would be able to describe that band is screamo poetry, emo kid screamo poetry from like 2006 to 2010. I think they have an album from more recently. But the verse itself is, "Up, my lady, pack your things. This place is not your home, nor was it ever. Sever every tie. Tonight we ride. Tonight we ride." And she has "Tonight we ride" in my handwriting. And then lastly, there's this one, which is the first tattoo I ever got. I don't know how well you can see that. It says 2002 and 2008, and those are both the years that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she beat it both times. She's still around. She's still kicking. And so I got this when I was 19, I think. So it's older than a 7th grader at this point and very faded, but the very first tattoo. And it's a yellow rose. I think I looked up the definition and the meaning of a yellow rose at the time. It's connected to my grandmother somehow, my mom's mom, because she also had cancer. So this was just kind of, and it's a ripped ribbon that kind of becomes, unripped at the end. And it was about kind of it's got all these layers of meaning, and I thought I was very deep, and it is very deep and meaningful, obviously. But yeah, that one's from my mommy. So yeah. Okay, let me catch up on the chat. I do want to be covered, by the way. Like, the fact that I'm 30 and still only have 3 tattoos is frustrating to me, because I've wanted to be tatted and pierced up like from the time I could understand the concept. So eventually I will be covered, and I'm very excited for that. Okay, I'm going to catch up on the chat now. Excuse me. Also, pardon if I get burpy. If anyone missed it, beer makes me burpy, and I'm drinking beer. Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing about. Yeah, okay, yes, girl. Yeah, agreed. Okay, LMAO, if you weren't someone who would be suspected of witchcraft, are you even living? Honestly, probably not. And the more I learn about it, like, I've always said, like, I want to be like the kind of vaguely witchy hippie chick, and I meant it in theory, but the more I learn, the more I'm like, I think I'm already kind of witchy by accident, and I don't necessarily like buy into the supernatural aspect. Or I'll put it this way. I've had enough personal experiences that I can't fully explain to still be open to the idea. And I think a lot of the ritual, I think a lot of the, formulate your thoughts, Tara. I think a lot of the value is in the ritual. I think a lot of the value is in the self reflection and kind of giving yourself a way to maybe organize thoughts that you might not be able to organize otherwise. I think that's a lot of the value of religion in general, and practice of any kind in general. So I'm becoming more open to that. And that's kind of what I mean by spirituality. I just don't have a better word for it. But yeah, no, totally. I think I've always been kind of witchy by accident anyway, and I'm going to lead into it. I would have been burned as a witch for being a witch. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Shit going down in the subreddit is fucked. Oh, are you referring to what was posted, like the 4th person? I don't want to say their name here, obviously. I know they're coming forward and whatnot, but yeah, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Let's just say It's a very good thing I'm not in the same time zone as him. And we'll leave it at that. Same with Lord of the Rings. I also read Silmarillion. I have a vintage copy of the Silmarillion that I found at Powell's bookstore in Portland like 8 years ago that I still haven't read, but I'll be reading it at some point. Yeah, I know it's a lot to dive into because it's Tolkien. But yeah, I want to dive back into that at some point once I start actually reading again. I read The Hobbit, I think, after I read Lord of the Rings, which is funny. But like the first movie came out when I was 11 and I was obsessed. And I just voraciously just sped through anything I could get a hold of. And, I was a Christian kid, so I was also reading the Narnia series. I had a copy of that I actually just gave to my friend. She had a baby last year, so I passed it on to him. It's a full box set of the Narnia series by C.S. Lewis. And that has a special place in my heart, especially The Magician's Nephew. That book really resonated with me a lot. And Prince Caspian. I might reread them at some point. I was a total book kid. I think I read so much. What was I reading? I mean, anybody remember The Magic Tree House? I demolished those. Goosebumps, Animorphs, anything that was like a long series that I could binge. Again, how the fuck did I not know I had ADHD? But yeah, anything that was long that would occupy me for a long time. I think I read like the Clique, CLIQUE series for a little bit. I dabbled in Gossip Girl, like the books before it became a show. When I say I was the girl reading on the playground by myself, I mean it literally, constantly. That's so sweet. Atheist witches are a thing. Yeah, no, that's what I've seen. And that's and like atheist Jews and like all of that, like that's why I'm more open to it, is because I'm realizing how Christian centric my entire worldview was up until very recently. And that's why I'm even open to the idea of a lot of that stuff, is because I now know how limited my understanding even is. So that's kind of cool. That's valid. I've moved beyond my angry atheist phase, which is nice. Yes, it's a psychological tool. Yeah, right? Like it's oh man, there's someone I found on TikTok. I think it's Seething River. I think her username is Seething River. She's just an atheist, like practical kitchen witch. And she's very down to earth. Oh, hey babe. Tom. Sorry, one sec. Hey, can you give them dinner? I just realized it's 6. Yeah. Thank you. The dogs need to eat. No, she's great. I've found a bunch of like atheist witches and like Jewish atheists and stuff. Like again, TikTok is responsible largely for all of that. I need it. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's really cool. And I'm really getting into it. Like I'm fascinated. I'm utterly fucking obsessed. I loved Narnia as a kid. Yeah. Oh man, when The Lion and the Witch and the Wardrobe came out, like I think I was actually really well done. Like Tilda Swinton as the White Queen was genius. I'm so disappointed in Jimmy. His content was my quarantine balm, and I feel so betrayed. Yeah, I know. I'm glad we are able to build safer communities thanks to the subreddit and YouTube. Yeah, I've honestly barely been on Reddit. Like, I think I only made an account last year just to kind of dabble, and I've barely touched it literally until this situation. And it's, oh my God, that community over there, I've never seen anything like it. Like, just, like, it's basically fucking living proof that matriarchy is better. That's as succinctly as I think I can put it. I love Narnia. Weirdly, The Horse and His Boy was my favorite. Oh man, I forgot about The Horse and His Boy. Is that the second book? Is that the second or the fourth? Again, like I said, I want to reread the series, especially as an adult, especially as an ex-Christian adult. I think I always really related to Susan, and I think that's part of why. And I think people really misunderstand Susan, especially not understanding the context. Like Susan was meant to be, if I remember correctly, kind of C.S. Lewis's self-insert. And she was the only one who listened to Aslan. She is the only one who moved on with her life and followed his advice and lived. Like she's the only one of them who moved on. And people, I think, misunderstand that and think that he was perhaps demonizing her. And I can see the argument for that. And again, it's been so long since I've read them that I would want to read them again, but I always very heavily related to Susan. And I think she's heavily misunderstood. And maybe that's part of why. Wanderer, I feel you. At this point, I am just angry. I have so much I want to say about it. Yeah. I'm an atheist Jew. Hey, awesome. Yeah. I don't remember if I mentioned this yet, but I am part Jewish. Like enough that I've always felt connected to it. I was just talking to someone in Reddit about this today. Obviously I'm gonna keep them anonymous for several reasons. But yeah, I've always felt connected to my Jewish side. My dad was just telling me it's on my dad's side, so it's, patriarchal lineage, but like it's fucking strong. It, like, my maternal grandmother is about as much of a Jewish grandmother as a middle class lady from, or excuse me, a Midwest lady from Ohio can be. I think, yeah, they were Ashkenazi and they came from Minsk in like the 1850s. I can't recall offhand. I think they stopped in Germany and may have gone on to the US from there, or maybe went straight through. But yeah, no, I'm really getting connected to that. And atheist Jewish people, like, again, like the actual Torah and Tanakh, I have no interest in converting, but I'm very, very fascinated by coming from as an ex-Christian to kind of compare to what I used to know as the Old Testament. So yeah, oh man. I love Dawn Treader. Yeah, Dawn Treader was really good. I loved Animorphs. Yeah. Animorphs were such a nerd kid book. Most of us, I think, are like neurodivergent or trans or somewhere in that vein in some way. The show and the book series. I never watched the show. I only read the books, but I kind of had like a whole world going in my head based on the books. Like I definitely had like a visualization of that whole universe. I'm an anti-Zionist atheist Jew. LOL. Hell fucking yeah. Fuck Israel. I will say that without hesitation. Fuck Israel. It is a colonialist genocidal state that only exists to maintain Western interests in the Middle East and is the opposite of what Jewish people want as a homeland. Fuck Israel. Unequivocally, without question. Did you like Wishbone? The show? Fuck yeah, I was a total PBS kid. We didn't have cable. Zoom, Wishbone, Reading Rainbow, fuck yeah, absolutely. That was my shit. CS did Susan dirty at the end, though. Yeah. And honestly, I kind of feel like it might have been a cop-out on his part. Like, again, I haven't read it in a long time, but I get the sense that didn't make sense for Susan, and that initially he might have wanted something different for her. And that might be just me projecting, but knowing his friendship with Tolkien and how they were, and how they influenced each other over their lifetimes, I have a lot of feelings about Susan. That might be interesting to get into. If anyone's interested, I could do like a read through of the Narnia series and like a breakdown and analysis. That would be cool. That might be, if enough people are interested in that, I would totally fucking do that. Hi, just coming in from another live. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, no, come in. I was originally just going to do an hour, but fuck it. I'll hang out as long as y'all want. This is Simon, by the way. He was just running around the yard. So welcome back. Hey, Simon. You want to say hi? Hey, buddy. Hey, Joe. Everyone say hi. He must have just worn himself out running around. I love you, Tara. Fuck Israel. Fuck yeah. I love you too. Parasocially, respectfully, of course. Hey, didn't know you were live. Yeah, I just kind of, it happened within the live. I figured it out yesterday and hit 100 subscribers, and I was like, oh shit, I'll try to go live. So don't worry. Also, hint, tin can trailer fit for one person 3-day vacation. Kappa also, what did I, oh, okay. All right. Okay. Hey, hi, hello, welcome. You have missed about an hour and 13 minutes of just shooting the shit, honestly. I don't know if YouTube posts lives like automatically after you stop, or if you have to do it manually, but I'll post it once I've done. We've done everything. I gave a tattoo tour. There's only 3 of them. That's not very long. We were talking about craft supplies and crochet and knitting and like witchcraft and atheism and all that. Yeah, it's I'm not quite sure how we've gotten here, but it's fun. I'll have to rewatch to catch up and figure out where this train of thought has come from. Pupper, yeah, he's a good boy. He's a sweet boy. I'd be into it. I should reread. Yeah, we could do like a read along, like a book club, maybe. That might be something cool for the Discord. Like maybe if we did like a Discord book club or something, and then I did videos recapping. That's something I could see happening. Again, not soon. I would have to like recalibrate and adjust and settle first, but I'm gonna file that one away for later. Oh, hi Simon. Yeah, he's a good boy. Yes, break down any literature you're passionate about. I'm a nerd for that sort of content. Yeah, I love that stuff on Rachel's channel. I haven't watched nearly as much of it as I want to because Rachel Oates specifically, because the way that she analyzes and the way that she thinks and the way that she breaks things down, I want to pay attention to. And like 90% of the time, if I'm on YouTube, it's on in the background. So I keep not watching those videos because I want to pay attention to them. But there's like a significant backlog now. I was off YouTube mostly for like 8 months anyway. But yeah, I love the way she breaks things down and thinks about things. And it's definitely something I've wanted to do for a while. So I could see that happening. All right, y'all, I got to go. It was great talk. Okay, bye, Peapot. Thank you for joining. Yeah, you were here pretty early. Yeah, thank you so much. This was fun. Yes. Okay. Where was I? Oops. As long as the tab is open, I can rewind to the beginning later. Oh, okay. Cool. Simon is precious. Yeah, he's a good boy, and he knows exactly how cute he is and leverages it regularly. Buddy, why are you laying in the hot sun? Why don't you just? He was a second chance rescue from Fresno, so he's a California boy. So I guess that kind of makes sense. And Hazel's around here somewhere. Hazel, hi, sweet girl. Hello. Hi, Amy. Let me see if I can. We do have 2 dogs. Hazel, come here. Hi, Amy. Hey, sweet girl. Hello, this is Hazel. Yeah. Hi, Amy. She unfortunately has lymphoma, so her time with us is limited. But she's sticking around. She's on prednisone and is working pretty well. So she's just hanging out. She's still a food monster. Hi, Amy. What's going on? Are you just coming to hang out? Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna hang out. Hazel, good dog. Yeah, she's a good. They're both good girls. They're both good dogs. Hazel is like, I good puppers. Yeah, more like I am starving. You didn't feed me dinner 15 minutes ago. Oh, you didn't, did you? Ah, gotcha. Okay. It's dinner time. And so I was being reminded because, Dad's not right there. I do that when I want sunshine, but I don't want to deal with people. Just lay on the bed in a sunny spot. Fair. Yeah. And honestly, so back to with Simon, him being like a second chance rescue and stuff. I'm like at this point 90% certain he was like a street dog that spent a lot of time around cats before he was picked up. He acts like a cat, and it's very funny. He's such a weird dog. He fits in very well to this family. I'd be down for a Discord book club. I'd never read the Narnia. I've never read the Narnia series, and I've only read The Hobbit from Lord of the Rings. Your top is super cute and looks comfy. Oh, thank you. It's a dress, actually. It's from Target, and it's like 5 or 6 years old at this point. But yeah, it's just like a trapeze dress. It's super comfy and loose and nice, and yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, no. The more I think about it, the more a Discord book club is definitely appealing, and it might actually get me reading again. Outside pressure might be what it takes. So yeah, I'm totally down for that idea. Even if we don't bring it to YouTube right away, even if it's just like a Discord thing. Again, I'll keep saying it, not for a while. I know I don't need to, but it's for my own sake to remind myself that it's okay. Yeah, I'm more and more liking that idea the more I think about it. My kitty is the same. She has a set time to get fed each night, and she's all like, Human, you will feed me or else. And even when you feed me, I will still do the thing. Yeah, and especially with Hazel, with her being on prednisone, she's a living, breathing vacuum cleaner and has a very prompt internal clock. Hey, as long as she's eating enthusiastically, that's all you can ask for, right? She's already lasted. She's already stuck around a month longer than the vet told us to expect. So at this point, we're on bonus time. It's dinner time for me too. Glad I caught your live. Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had a good time. What kind of dress did you say? Oh, like a trapeze dress, like the kind where it's not really structured. It just like has like a top and then just kind of flows out. Yeah, it doesn't really have any structure or anything. Sometimes I'll belt it, sometimes not. I have a couple other ones that are just like cotton. They're just comfy and cute. But yeah, I got this one specifically from Target and it's like 5 or 6 years old. What's your favorite pasta dish? All of them? All of them. If I had to pick what I would normally get at like a restaurant or something, probably something with like a bolognese, or like a carbonara of some sort. Oh God, I love carbs. I like that style, but I didn't know there was a name for it. Thank you. Yeah, trapeze dress. Yeah, they're very, very comfy and cozy. Oh, now you got me thinking about pasta. Lasagna is good too. My mom makes a good homemade lasagna that I miss. Excuse me. Yeah, macaroni and cheese is pretty much, we eat like toddlers on the weekend at this point. I love the carbs too. Yes, carbs are good. I'm really kind of glad. So I kind of got around diet culture by just dissociating for 5 years instead of, having an eating disorder or something, which, I don't want to joke about, but also it's like, it's kind of funny because I just opted out and that wasn't healthy either. But yeah, I am really glad I kind of never had like a toxic relationship with carbs because they are my staple food source, like bread, pasta, carbs in general. Hello. I don't know if the chat is just kind of chilling out a little bit or if I'm like stuck. Oh wow, it's almost 6:30. Oh, here it goes. Okay. Evie. Pasta noms. Wish I could enjoy more of it. Stupid health telling me no. Yeah, my sister has health stuff too, and some of my family has like not celiac, but like celiac adjacent. So carbs are an issue. I used to be horrifically underweight all the time. No matter how hard I tried to gain weight, it just wouldn't stick. Yeah. No, I get that. And again, like carbs are supposed to be like a weight gainer, right? But then, if you're having health issues and can't put on weight, yeah, that sucks. Did you grow up with not much money or food insecurities? I did, and I have that same connection to carbs. Not exactly, although I think part of it was, so my mom did grow up pretty poor. I mentioned this earlier, but you might have missed it. She had like a single mom. Like she and my grandpa divorced when my mom was very young. And that was a whole big toxic situation. So my mom grew up very poor and food insecure, and I think brought a lot of that with her. Into kind of our upbringing, and was very much a stickler for like non-processed foods and like healthy foods and stuff like that. And she would never buy like fun cereal. We got Lunchables like once a year for our birthday as a treat, that kind of thing. So I think that's part of where it might stem from, that and just being of stocky peasant lineage. And my body being like, you must be strong for working, so I think it's kind of a combination of the two. Then I got on some meds and gained 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Holy shit. I haven't lost it. It was about 10 years ago. Here's the thing though, you probably gained back the 30 pounds you needed to, and it was just too fast, but goddamn. Yeah, you poor thing. That's rough. I hope things have evened out. Like again, my sister has had like digestive health issues as well. Nothing I want to get into obviously because it's not my place to talk about. But yeah, I'm well familiar with that world. And I don't envy you. That sucks. Your hair is so vibrant and fun. People tend to neglect orange, and it's such a fun color. I'm a Halloween fan, so there's that too. Yeah, thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, I always wanted to dye my hair fun colors, and I kind of dabbled a bit back in the day. This is actually about a month faded, and it's a mixture of a couple of colors, mostly Riot by Good Dye Young, because I'm still in love with Hayley Williams. But yeah, no, I love the orange, and I actually really like it, like with me, like with my skin tone as well. I did pink earlier this year, and I'm just gonna kind of cycle through the colors and see what I like. But I'm digging the orange so far. Yeah, it's really fun. And I also love Halloween. We didn't do Halloween when I was a kid, actually. That might be part of why I love it so much. We went to like the church harvest festival. But like I never went trick or treating, not even once, ever. I have since handed out candy, but not until I was an adult. And like I've been to Halloween parties and stuff. But yeah, we never did Halloween as kids, so I've kind of leaned into it as an adult. I mean, I'm finally at a healthy weight for my height and age, but because I've never been 80, yeah, wow, your journey is remarkably similar to my sister's, like very, very close. Yeah, wow, that's, yeah, yeah, I fully get you there. I get you there. Have you ever done teal? I think that would look good. I have not, but teal is one of my favorite colors. Like to the point where it, like my friend calls it Terra teal. I think I did a little bit like either underneath or on the tips when I was in like high school. At some point that's going to be the one of the colors that I do. Yeah, it's my favorite color at all, like anything remotely ocean related, like that deep ocean blue. But yeah, teal is a good color, and I definitely think it would also work well. So at some point I'll be playing around with that as well. Oh, do it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. For sure. At some point that will be happening. I kind of want to keep to the warmer colors over summer. I kind of like the vibe of that, and maybe do cooler colors like, into the fall and winter. But yeah, I'm going to just go through the gamut of the rainbow and just play around and see what I like. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Yeah. At this point, I'm just doing everything 14-year-old me always wanted to do and wasn't either allowed to or able to. Like, I'm at a point now where my business is well established enough that I can do what I want with my appearance, and not have to worry about people caring. I also live in Portland, so that helps. But yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun. And also just the explosion of people playing with hair dye and like experimenting with makeup and just breaking gender. Basically, oh my god, Gen Z is breaking gender. They just said fuck gender. It's fascinating. Pastor kid. Oh, my best friend is a pastor's kid. My other best friend, not the tattoo best friend, different one. So we didn't celebrate Halloween either. If no harvest festival that year, me and my siblings had to hide in the back room with lights off, so no trick-or-treaters came to our house. We did that too. We would turn all our lights off, like, and either go see a movie or hang out in the basement to avoid trick or yeah. Yeah, that's oof. Yeah, you get it. You get it. They've chilled out since then, and they regret that. We've had many conversations, and they're like, "Yeah, we should have let you trick or treat. That was fucked up." There's a lot of reasons they were as conservative as they were, for as long as they were, and they've both kind of come to realize that that was a mistake and are, dealing with it in their own ways. But yeah, that's the one thing or one of several things that they're like, yeah, if we could have done that differently and should have. So that's nice to get the acknowledgement of. And now I get to play with Halloween as much as I want as an adult and can be as much of a heathen as I want to about it. My hair is currently down to my butt and I'm getting ready to cut it off and donate it. I am so excited to dye my hair a fun color again. Yes, much. Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow, that's impressive. I grew my hair out for a very, very long time. I've kind of gone through phases. This is actually the result of the most recent chopping it off. I chopped it off last year, but it was like probably down to here, like below my boobs, almost to my waist. By that point, I hadn't cut it in years and years. That's really cool. That's exciting. Yeah, once you chop it off, totally do something fun. Iro, just IRO is a good, decent, cheap brand of temporary hair dye or semi-permanent hair dye, that you put on top of bleach, obviously, and you can get it online. I think you can order it on Amazon. I've used it a couple times. It's really good. Yeah, that's really cool. That's exciting. Do you have any fun fall traditions that you enjoy? Yeah. Haven't really gotten to participate much, but I love just like in the last couple years at least, but we want to try and get back into it. There's a bunch of good pumpkin patches around us, so we'll do that several times, not several times, but like once or twice a year for Halloween. And most of them are farms. So they also have like a corn maze or like animals, and like food stalls and like a little farmer's market and stuff like that. So we'll do that. Typically once or twice in the autumn. We didn't do it last year, obviously. I think this year, if it's open and if they're requiring you to be vaccinated, I would be, it's outdoors, so I might be more flexible. Put it this way, if they don't require vaccines, I will go masked. But we always go to a pumpkin patch and get pumpkins, and even if we don't carve them, we just go, just to do it. And then, we do Halloween now, so my husband and I do hand out candy on Halloween, and we get a decent amount of trick-or-treaters, so that's fun. Yeah, I haven't been at a point to really establish a lot of my own traditions, at least until recently. So that's something kind of going forward that I kind of want to do. But that's what I've got so far, which is fun. When I became an adult, I started handing out candy at my parents' house. Now they do it too. Yeah, no, and actually one year I handed out candy with my mom. Actually, we both. She kind of dresses like a hobbit anyway. She would hate if I said that, but she knows I'm right. So we both kind of dressed up as hobbits and handed out candy together. That was fun. As a Dutch person, I really approve this color. Haha! I enjoy the Dutch now. The Dutch and the Belgians, obviously. I mean, all Europeans, they did their shit, but we've all done our shit, right? Yeah. I enjoy the Dutch. Y'all are cool. Pumpkin carving competition in the Discord. Oh, man. I will say my skills are probably not up to par, but I would happily facilitate such a thing and participate, with the caveat that it probably wouldn't be that great. But yeah, no, that would be fun. That would be fun. If we can get it going by like Halloween time, I'd be down for that. Or like, I'm not super big into horror, like literature or horror movies in general, but I like thrillers, and stuff like that. So maybe something. Yeah, I'm starting to get some ideas. Okay. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, obviously, but wheels are turning. This is great. This is anything I could possibly want from a stream. I'm at this point down to hang out as long as y'all want. I don't have a schedule tonight. I just figured an hour might be as long as people paid attention, but if you guys want to stick around longer, let's do it. It's been an hour and a half already somehow. Sounds like good material for a joke about wearing masks during Halloween. Oh, Brabblebeast. Hey, hi. I just noticed that's you. Did you just get here? Welcome. Your comments are still in my brain. I'm still thinking about that shit. You're cool, dude. Welcome. Yeah. Oh man, I'm ready to see like what kind of Halloween masks come out this year, because last year was interesting enough. This year should be a time. Time flies when you're like a distraction. You know what? You're not wrong. Honestly, lives are pretty conducive to like the ADHD train of thought, because I can just spew it all out there and get it done. This is great. Yeah, holy crap, you guys. Like the conversations and the topics of just like discussion or exploration in the comments of these videos already, I'm blown away. Like this is exactly the type of like audience and environment and community that I have wanted to cultivate at all if I ever had an online presence. So this is really cool so far. I'm kind of geeking out a little bit. God, there's only 6 people in here? Really? I thought there were so many more. Wow, that's awesome. What a fun group. It felt like more, is what I meant. Pardon me while I take a break here for a sec. Is there anything else maybe that I missed or that people want to talk about while we're here. There's a bit of a lull, at least on my end in the chat. So if anybody has an idea, if you have something, we can maybe cut it here or we can keep going either way. It depends on what your type of content is and being honest to who you are. Yeah, for sure. I stream on a different name platform, so I have 10 plus years of experience. That's right. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, and that's the thing. And again, it's part of why I always admired Jenna Marbles. Like, she always just kind of treated YouTube like a video diary and fucked around and did what she wanted. And that's part of why I think her content was so engaging. I still go back and watch those little videos sometimes when I need a serotonin boost. And I've always greatly admired her just as a person for that. I thought it was really exemplary of a way to build an internet platform. And I've always kind of looked to her specifically as an example of how to do that. And I really hope she's doing well and that she and Julian and the dogs are, I know they're engaged now, which is very exciting. And just, as a person on a parasocial level, obviously, I've just always really, there were times when I didn't love, she got a little slut shaming here and there back in the day, but then she learned better. And so just watching her and her content kind of evolve over time and feeling like we kind of grew up together in a way. Yeah. And how she always made sure to keep her channel about just having fun. In so much as I'm able to do that, that's exactly the kind of environment that I would like to foster. So yeah, I hope she's doing well. I think so. It seems like it. I still follow Julian on Twitter and stuff. So I'm somewhat plugged in, but I'm glad she stepped back and is taking time just to exist and be a person. She's earned it. She's more than earned it by now. I just checked YouTube going to bed. It's 3:30 a.m. here. Oh man, dude. Okay, well, sorry, not sorry to keep you up, I guess. I mean, at least it's Saturday. Well, Sunday for you now. God, 3:30 a.m. What is that? It's not. Is that like Germany, England, France, thereabouts? Hey, buddy. Hi. Do you smell my popcorn? It's not for you. I'm about to head out, but thanks so much for your commentary in the Jimmy Snow stuff. I'm so glad I caught you live. Oh yeah, I'm glad you caught it. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for your labors, and I look forward to the community growing. Thank you so much. That's really nice. Hey, hi. Can I help you, sir? This is not for you. It's not for puppies. Oh my God. He thinks that sitting will get him anything he wants. Excuse you. This is not for you. You may not have my popcorn. Shameless mooches, both of them, I swear. It's our fault, though. They're spoiled. I wish it was taught in schools how to properly apologize and listen to others. Fucking yeah, right? Like, the apology is the beginning. The apology is, hey, I fucked up. My bad. If you choose to forgive me and move forward, great, we can go. But so many people seem to think the apology is the point. It's like, no. The apology is the acknowledgement of wrongdoing and the starting point, to go from there. Fucking, this is oh my God, this is basic emotional intelligence, and so many grown adult white men don't fucking have it. I didn't even finish your comment. I feel like our education system cultivates a society that just only thinks selfishly. It's depressing, LOL. Yes, and I honestly think part of it is the long-term results of the implementation of No Child Left Behind. You'll remember that? That was a fuck show. I think I just barely scraped by ahead of it. But No Child Left Behind was, I think, the beginning of the end of whatever was left of a salvageable American education system, at least in my opinion. But my best friend, the not Michigan one, the other one, the pastor's kid is a 5th grade teacher, so I've kind of got an ear to the ground there. I just woke up from my nap. Hi. Hello, evil little McNuggets. Welcome. That is a fantastic username. Nah, don't worry. I'm a nocturnal person. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm kind of biphasic and nocturnal too. As to the location, I'm following you from from the Netherlands. That's so cool. Okay, awesome. That's neat. I've been to Amsterdam. That's pretty cool. I was a teenager, so I didn't do the stuff that people normally go to Amsterdam for. But that's awesome. That's so cool. I actually, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. So if you want to just like fill up the chat for a second and talk amongst yourselves, I'll be back in like a second. Done. I'm just going as long as people want to hang. What? I'm just going as long as people want to hang. Okay, I'm back. You still can't have my popcorn. All right. Hello. Thank you for your patience. Allow me to catch up. Someone need. Okay. Let me scroll back up. Okay. All right. Okay. Someone needs to show up with Angelic Little McNuggets so that there's a person with a dilemma to listen to both in round one. Round one fight. My mouse is. Oh, that's fucking funny. Oh wow, YouTube has its own. Is that the moon face? It looks like the moon face. I was still in base from Twitches. I'm shocked. Oh man, I'm so unplugged from Twitch. I enjoy the concept of Twitch, but like I haven't even dabbled because it's one of those things that like I know it would be a life suck. Why? Why what? Never mind. I just saw the username. I get the comment now. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that just caught me off guard. Sorry. Hello, Hazel. Are you back? Are you coming to hang out, or are you coming to try and steal popcorn? You want to say hello? Hey, Hazel. Hi. You want to say hi? Here she is. Just looking like a fucking goblin. Oh my god, both of you have terrible dog breath. Good lord. Okay. Anyway, hi, watching from Australia. Australia. Oh, that's so cool. Welcome. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I find it fascinating. I just wanted to say thanks for your commentary on Jimmy Snow. And you said what I was thinking when I watched his I Messed Up vid. That seems to be the general consensus. And thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's nice. The validation that other people think the same way as me and have the same feelings about the subject as me is very, very nice. Hey, Tom. Sorry, one sec. Can you just let Simon out? Thank you. Let's see. Oh, sorry. Kappa is a term used on Twitch to mean joking or to. Oh, is that like no cap or something like that? Is that like an iteration of that? I'm catching up to the youths. Someone me to distinguish a real comment or one. Okay, gotcha. I get it. So like, no worries, all in good. Got it. Okay, all right. So just the latest iteration of that. Drinking with you live means I'm not drinking alone, right? Obviously. I'm drinking live on the internet. Oh, fuck. Sorry if that was loud. I keep forgetting this is right here. Yeah, of course. We're drinking. It's Saturday night. We're hanging out. It's happy hour every hour. But I kept saying Kappa and it comes out as, oh, gotcha. Okay. Watch out. You're surrounded. Now, always. They are relentless and without shame. And it is entirely our fault. And I would have it no other way. And it's all because of this fucking popcorn that I've only eaten like 10 pieces of. Wait, I thought you might be younger than me. LOL, you're just catching up to the youths. I'm always trying to catch up to you young whippersnappers with your techno lingo. When I say the youths, I mean like Gen Z, right? Like, you know, the teens. I'm 30. I don't know. Maybe you missed that. Maybe you weren't here for that. I'm like solid, like middle of the road millennial, or maybe like latter half of millennial. Yeah, I'm 30, almost 31. I look younger than my age significantly. Stay home, stay safe, have a drink with a stranger online. LOL, this is great, right? No risk of COVID. You can get as drunk as you want. You don't have to worry about either staying sober enough to drive or getting a cab or a Lyft or an Uber or something. You can just fucking chill and then pass out. It's great. That is the upside to having a global following. It's really weird that it's already global. That's so cool. It's always happy hour somewhere. Exactly. And honestly, you know what? At this point, after A, time is fake. B, after a year and a half of a global pandemic that has been handled very poorly by all the people who should have and been able to and handle it better, fuck it at this point. Just fuck it. Fuck it. We've all gained weight. We're all alcoholics. We're all anxiety-ridden messes. It's end-stage consumer capitalism. The world is eating itself alive like this snake. Just fuck it at this point. I've reached my fuck it stage. Beautiful fur babies. Ours are 100% spoiled too, as they should be. Exactly. Especially because they're rescue dogs, right? So like they've been through enough. Like by the time they come here, we will instill discipline as much as is necessary for their own safety, you know, like with toddlers. But yeah, they're enthusiastically, willingly, and knowingly spoiled. Especially Hazel. She's dying. She's earned it. Hi, sweet girl. Hello. And you milk it every second you get, every chance. Yeah. Hi. Is allergic to alcohol of any kind. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wait, interesting. I'll be 36 in August. Oh yeah, okay. So you're just like, you were basically established enough in your career during the crash to be extra fucked. I feel for that. LOL, I had just gotten told that younger than me is catching up with you as I'm officially old. I'm still getting used to 30. Like having turned 30 mid-pandemic, you know, and did essentially nothing about it. Like it's a significant milestone and I didn't mark it really at all. And yeah, it's bizarre. You know, I'm at this crossroads where, you know, I still feel very young, and especially, you know, the older I get, the younger I feel, kind of, if that makes sense. But also I feel 1,000 years old. But yeah, no, I'm getting to a point now where I'm like, I probably have more in common with a 50-year-old than a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a very interesting season of life. And I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I've gotten this far, and I can't wait to see how far I get. The people in my life, the people in my family tend to live a long time anyway. I come from hardy stock. So I'm probably stuck here for at least 80, 85, 90 years anyway. So I might as well make the most of it. This is why I came back with a third. Also, by the way, I don't want it to like come across that I'm drinking excessively. I have a naturally high tolerance, and it's the weekend, so I'm gonna stop at 3, but we're cool. I just want to, I know that 3 beers in 2 hours can be a lot for some people, so I just want to make it known that I have a naturally very high tolerance, which has come in handy more than once. I think I've only blacked out once in my entire life, and that was the fault of rum and the game. I don't remember, but it's the game where you keep your drink in your non-dominant hand and have to down it if you get caught with it in the dominant hand. And I lost 3 times with a rum and Coke. That is the one and only time I have blacked out in my life, and I was already married. So yeah, we're cool. Anyway, tangent aside, let me get caught up here. There's not that many, but I just want to make sure I don't get too far behind. Yeah, and again, regarding like the youths and their lingo, I still have a tenuous grasp on the concept of like cap, no cap. So don't worry, I'm keeping up, just about. And I'm chronically online, so don't worry. LMAO, if I wasn't mentally ill before 2020, I have no doubt that I am now. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Time is measuring unit for movement. That's it. Fuck yeah. And honestly, now that I've been basically just like without any kind of external like pressure or schedule or structure for a year and a half, I'm kind of naturally reverting to kind of a biphasic sleep schedule, which is interesting. So yeah, time isn't real. I work from like noon to whenever. And just spend my mornings now just kind of getting adjusted to being awake and living and doing my thing and getting my shit done. And I'm so much less stressed. I just start work at like lunchtime and work until as late as I need to. It's fantastic. Like, yeah, time is fake. It doesn't matter. It is a method of measuring the passage of existence, and that's all it needs to be. And being in a position to be able to lean into that and really like actually take advantage of that for the literal first time in my life has been very, very nice and very good for my overall health and well-being. Let's see. Okay, I turned 29 at the beginning of the pandemic after lockdown started, and 30 a few months ago. I didn't think it would bother me to not do anything for either of my birthdays, but it did. Right? Yeah, and like I'll be 31 in September. So it's like I kind of, at this point, I think enough of my friends who are around are like vaccinated and safe enough that I've kind of been waffling on the idea of a like first anniversary of my 30th birthday party kind of thing. And at this point, honestly, there are enough people here that if I don't do anything in real life, I might just do a birthday live. That might be fun. To kind of do a collective birthday celebration for all of those, for those of us who had, significant milestone birthdays that we kind of missed celebrating. That might be fun. I could see doing that. Don't expect that feeling of feeling younger than you are to go away anytime soon. I'm 43 and still have that. Yeah. My mom's cousin is, I think, about your age. Maybe he's between like 40 and 50. And he's, the same way. And I think a lot of it is that like our society puts all this pressure on essentially children to figure out the rest of their lives while their brain is still figuring out how to be a person. Like your frontal cortex is not fully finished developing until 25, like or thereabouts. And so yeah, your ability to conceptualize the long term like in any real meaningful way just isn't there until it is. And all of this pressure is put on, again, essentially children who are just figuring out how to be people, to to figure out their life path. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I hate it. I always have. And so, yeah, I'm really leaning into like, I always felt older than I was because I kind of had to be older than I was. And so now that I actually feel younger, I'm just leaning into it and enjoying it because this is the first time in my life I think I've felt this way. Yeah, so that's nice. Pretty pretentious. Yes, ours are. Oh, back to the dogs. Okay. I'm fine jumping back and forth, by the way. As long as I have context, I can go back and forth between topics. Ours are rescues too. Want them to have as beautiful a life as possible. Obviously, some boundaries for safety. Yeah, of course. We had Simon before we had Hazel. So, you know, we had them meet like at the shelter first and everything to make sure they got along and all of that. Yeah, absolutely. Also love that weekends are happy hour every hour. Exactly. Yeah, like I'm trying to like make sure I keep a boundary for myself of I don't work on the weekends unless I have to. You know, because I got into that habit, you know, the rat race, the grind. And it burned me out. I burned myself out. I was barely functional last year at all, just aside from the pandemic, and then the pandemic didn't help. So yeah, absolutely, 100%. Weekends are Terra time. Weekends are me time. Again, back to Jenna. I'm having me time. Okay, Evie. My thought process is two things. One, time itself is the higher being, just recycling everything with each big bang. Without time, there is no chicken or egg. And two, unfortunately, Darwinism ironically unalived itself. That's a lot for my current, shall we say, state of sobriety or lack thereof. But that's fascinating. Your mind. I want to dive into that. That's interesting. Okay. All right. You guys are cool. You're still live. Yes. I at this point, fuck it. Like I'm going as long as people will hang out. You know, most of the live recordings I see are like 2 or 3 hours long, and I have no schedule. I have nothing planned. So as long as people want to hang out, I'm down. Like after this, I'll just be watching YouTube or Netflix or Hulu or something. So, drinking 3 beers in 2 hours would earn you the label light drinker in my social circles. Yeah, and again, this is by American standards. You might have missed this, but I actually I lived in Germany for 2 years, and I turned 16 while living there. So my tolerance and my taste are very European, shall we say. And then once we moved back to the States, there was no way my parents were going to keep me from drinking at home. I'd just been doing it legally for a year and a half. They weren't going to fucking stop me. So by that point, they let me drink at home. And since then, it's just been, yeah. So, yeah, it's very, very funny. I think the alcohol culture in America is largely very toxic and unhealthy. Compared to the alcohol culture in Europe. So that's part of why I made note of it. That's all. I have a family history of alcoholism, so I try to keep an eye on it. But yeah, no, my beer taste was developed very specifically and very rapidly at a very young age. And being 16 in Germany during the World Cup was a time. And if you're with the right people, they don't card for shots. That's all I will say on that matter. But you can extrapolate from there. That would be so much fun. I'm so sorry. I forget what that's in reference to, but probably yes. Let's see, pretty pretentious. A milestone birthday anniversary is a great idea to create some memories with loved ones you can look back on. Right? Exactly. And especially like, excuse me, like the people we associate with, you know, and our friends and stuff here in Portland, like a lot of them, I'm immunocompromised technically. So, you know, I've been very, very cautious about this whole thing, but I'm starting to think we had COVID before we knew it was COVID. Because we both had a nasty flu like Christmas of 2019. And the more I learn and the more that comes out, the more I think that might have been like COVID before COVID was a thing. But I digress. Yeah, a milestone birthday anniversary just seems like a fun idea. And if we can do it in person, enough of my friends had milestone birthdays. of some kind or another, that, you know, and we haven't seen each other in so long that it might be nice to do in person, now that we're all vaccinated. But, you know, with Delta and everything and the upswing with that, I honestly don't know how things are going to look by the autumn. So if I, you know, even if I do something in person, the way things are going, we might have a pretty significant community here by then. So yeah, I think it might be pretty cool to do like a collective like birthday party kind of thing, and just take a moment to kind of celebrate, you know, just still fucking being alive. And you know, the Renaissance happened after the bubonic plague, so hopefully, you know, we can kind of try and find some kind of positivity to cling on to. So I'm not complaining. Yeah, I'm glad you're back. Let me know if you ever want to jump into that topic at any time. It's not a viewpoint I shove down people's throats, just a topic that explains a ton of things. And I know it's a deep thought process. I'm 100% here for deep thought processes. I'm always ruminating on some deep thought or another. And so anything new to think about is always welcome. So yes, even if we discuss that just separately from YouTube, like if we connect elsewhere, like I'm absolutely down to just like DM and talk about that stuff separately. Absolutely. I'm a deep thinker. And I kind of don't need a lot to jump into it because I'm sort of always in that mindset anyway. And it's a lot for my husband to absorb, and he's the only person I've had to talk to for a year and a half. And I'd like to give him a break. So he's very patient and very understanding and very loving and largely very down, but you know, there's only so much that one person can handle. So yeah, long story short, hell yeah, I'm down. Let's do it. File that one away for later. Dutch drinking culture is quite similar to the German one. Yeah, you get it. Like, it's definitely, I think a lot of, pardon me, beer does make me burpy. I mentioned that earlier. So yeah, American drinking culture, again, largely stems from English drinking culture, which is unhealthy for a lot of reasons. I think the World Cup is a great example of that and how they behaved recently. But that's a whole other topic. But yeah, no, Dutch and German, and to an extent French, if you can find the non-pretentious French people. The drinking culture in Europe is very much more chill than in America. It's much more like this is just part of life rather than this is an escape. So yeah, it's much more healthy, and much more my attitude and personal approach to the topic. Like you said, it's probably a lot to think well and say, yeah. And again, I think I might actually, and I might want to re-up on some herb in a minute here, but I'll do that off screen. I don't want to get booted for droogs. Same. Were you there for the 2008 Cup? Because me too. No, I was there for the 2006 Cup. And I remember they like set up this whole thing in the Alte Schlossplatz in Stuttgart, in downtown Stuttgart, in like the Alte Schloss. If you guys are familiar with that, it's the old palace. And there's these palace grounds downtown. God, I fucking love Stuttgart. I would love to go back there. Anyway, that's off topic. Yeah, no, the World Cup in 2006. Yeah, it was fucking cool. We moved back to the States in 2007, in like summer of 2007. So yeah, no, I was there for the 2006 World Cup. And that was honestly, that was a significant year actually, because that was the first year that a lot of Germans felt comfortable even expressing pride in or any kind of nationalist sentiment since World War II, for obvious reasons. And so being a part of that was actually really, really cool looking back. Like, I didn't really fully understand the significance of it at the time, but now later, with the benefit of hindsight, especially in that context, like that was really fucking cool to be a part of. So I'm glad you got to experience it a couple of years later, because I think you got kind of a similar but a slightly more advanced experience. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm also part German, so you know, I'm a European mutt in a lot of ways. Like there's a bit from all over the place, but I've always felt particularly, connected to the Jewish, German, and Scottish sides. So that hits a spot. That's really nice to see. Let's see. I too have to deal with a shitty immune system. So yeah, trying to avoid everything for the past 2 years. I feel so anxious to join back into society. Same. I was already an introvert. Yeah, I'm naturally introverted as well. And I have a lot of, I have congenital hypothyroidism. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but basically, my thyroid gland did not fully develop in utero. So I've been getting regular blood testing and taking thyroid supplements for my entire life. And then in addition to that, I also have allergies and asthma and the whole thing. And potentially Ehlers-Danlos. My sister was just recently diagnosed, and I potentially have the joint side, very likely. So yeah, I fully get you there. Being immunocompromised, this is our generation's polio, and I don't think a lot of people understand that yet. And it's been from the beginning very stressful and very discouraging and very disheartening to see the general kind of just disregard that people have for how serious this actually fucking is. So yeah, I feel you on that one. Probably just got my second shot today. So far, just a sore arm. Nice. Yeah, I got my shot. I got Pfizer, and the worst symptom, it wasn't even as bad as a flu shot. I think my arm was kind of sore for a little bit, but yeah, it was fine for me, which was great. Yeah, no, being vaccinated has definitely brought with it a peace of mind for sure. Again, I'm still concerned, especially with the Delta variant going around and with people I never unmasked, even when the CDC said hey, unmask, they weren't actually really, they were just being political about it. And the paper they cited actually said, fucking keep your mask on. So I have kept my masks on. Unless I'm in an environment with people I trust who I know have been vaccinated. At this point, I have a fucking zero tolerance policy. If you are not vaccinated, I won't go fucking near you. If I have a choice in the matter, point blank, period. And I'm going to wear my mask until and unless I feel safe doing otherwise. And that's just going to be my common practice going forward. I don't give a shit about people's opinion. My own health and well-being is more important to me than you politicizing medicine. You know what I mean? I feel like people here can kind of generally get the gist of that. And again, I don't want to go off on a rant or a tangent, so I'm going to stop there. Let me see. Also, my glasses are 3 years out of date. That's why I keep leaning into the chat. I need a new prescription. Let's see. I just got my second shot. Count me in on the deep content. Hell yeah. I'm so down to get deep. I always want to get deep. That's what she said. Michigan didn't help me figure anything out. Yeah, I'm from the mitten. Michigan and healthcare is not a good combo. Yeah, Michigan's had its problems since well before Kwame. Let's put it that way. At least the last 2 decades, I've been trying to get answers, so I don't even know all my complications yet. All I can do is try my best. Yeah, I feel you there. My sister didn't even get her diagnosis until moving states and getting connected with a doctor who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. And she went through 6 to 8 years of medical gaslighting before getting anywhere close to a diagnosis. And she's now still in the process of figuring out how serious everything is. And if she had been believed and treated properly from the beginning, things would not be as bad as they are. And she has potential long-term, lifelong complications as a result of that. And it's fucking ridiculous and unfair. And she's going to have to live with that for the rest of her life. So yeah, I totally, the older I get and the more plugged in I get to just disability rights issues in general, and the more I learn about it and the more, admittedly personal experience, but also just in general, yeah, it's fucked. Our country is, the United States is basically just white supremacy and eugenics with some framework. And I am over it. For my expertise, I am very interested in the link between much of the illnesses and micropollutions. Yeah. Yeah, the leftovers from lead paint or the arsenic green and all like what's left over from that, and even like Agent Orange and all the microplastics and all that shit. Yeah, it's not good for us. It's not doing good things. And in America especially, there are so many like additives and artificially created chemical components, because like everything is chemicals, duh. But yeah, the way they fuck with our food in the States especially is very, very insidious and very, very unhealthy, and I think will have long-term ramifications for humanity as a whole. And it's messed up. And again, it all ties back to capitalism and white supremacy. Like it's fucking rich white men leveraging advantages they shouldn't have, turtles, all the way down. Excuse me. Anyway, that's its own rant. I'm sure Michigan and its healthcare. LOL. Yeah, I'm super glad to have been out of. Goddamn, excuse me. To have been out of that for a decade. You know, I will say, Kaiser has a stranglehold on Kaiser Permanente has a stranglehold on Oregon. But the health coverage that I've had here has been overall much, much better than anything I ever had in Michigan. The healthcare in Michigan is a fuck show, and I do not envy you that. And I'm very, very sorry that you have to put up with it. It's not great. Sorry, hang on. For my expertise, I am very interested in the link. This is Brabblebeast. For my expertise, I am very interested in the link between much of the illnesses. Okay, we already just touched on that. Let's start here. Yes, dealing with lifelong crap just because it wasn't properly caught when it was first mentioned. Yes, yeah, exactly. Like they accused my sister of like drug seeking and anorexia, like anything that they could to avoid actually listening to her fucking symptoms and treating her. And of course, like, you know, she's a different person than me. She also has ADHD and was actually diagnosed before I was. And was part of what led to my diagnosis. But like she was very much, yeah, she got shafted in more ways than one. I feel for her, and I'm very, very glad she's in a position now to get the healthcare that she's getting. And she is living at home with my parents, so she doesn't have to worry about like expenses or rent or anything. She can just focus on her health and healing. And you know, obviously it's frustrating and she's bored, but she's fine. You know, she's getting back into hobbies and getting healthy again. And that's what really matters. And I'm very, very glad of that. You know, better late than never. Like it's easy to get bitter and it's easy to get angry about, I suppose, how things could have been. But at the end of the day, they're never going to be like that. You know what I mean? Like I spent so much time wishing things could be different. And if I could get that time back, I would, because you can't make things different unless you make things different. You know what I mean? Like you can't make things different by wishing they were different. You have to actually take steps to do it. And you have to be able to focus on something other than surviving day to day in order to do that. So yeah, long story short, you know, my sister's good now. You know, as good as she can be under the circumstances, and is getting the treatment and care that she needs. Finally, which is nice, and is now at the point where she can start building up a life again, which is great. So that's good. Let me see. Okay, sorry. I think I'm a little behind on the chat, so let me catch up. Lucy Dolly said, "Did you see Bailey Sarian's Dark History where she was talking about DuPont and their chemical dumps?" No, I did not. I mentioned this earlier, but you may have missed it. I'm sorry. I can't remember how long you've been here. I'm gonna go back after this and like go through the chat and kind of write down notes and stuff. And of stuff to explore and things to learn about. And I'm definitely gonna add that to the list. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I know DuPont, so that sounds fascinating. Oh no, internet either dropped on my end or did the stream buffer? No, it's still here. We're still here. We're good. Mine kind of cuts out every now and then randomly. It's in the other room, so it's pretty steady here. So it may have just cut out for a second, but nah, we're still here. We're still hanging out. We are just beginning to learn how much is out there and how it affects us. Yeah. And especially with how like the recycling industry in and of itself kind of collapsed in 2018. It's And with fucking all the line 3 stuff happening in Minnesota right now, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It's not great. The capitalists are ruining as much as they can, as fast as they can, because they don't fucking care. They don't care about anything except how much money they can make today. So that's fun. Let's see. Evie, I've noticed since getting vaccinated, both appointments trying to avoid one of my triggers, the fact that I was actually listened to about my allergies was such a difference. The actual bedside manners was astounding for me. Yeah, honestly, this might have been kind of a trial by fire for a lot of doctors and kind of a reality check for a lot of doctors. I used to follow Dr. Mike, but then obviously he was, peripherally, but then he was being a fucking douche. And dismissive, and so I just disengaged from him. But Mama Dr. Jones, if any of y'all are familiar with her, she's fucking on it. Muscles and Nursing on TikTok. He is very much plugged in and on it. And then I think Dr. Ethan Klein, maybe on TikTok, is pretty up on everything. But yeah, I think this was a bit of a trial by fire and a bit of a reality check for a lot of doctors. Especially in the United States. A lot of them have, obviously there's issues with our medical system as it is. But yeah, I think this has been a bit of a reality check and a bit of a come to Jesus moment, for lack of a better term, for a lot of people in the medical field. So, yeah. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, I fell a little bit behind. I've noticed something. Okay, yep. Misdiagnosis can be really devastating. Oh, yeah, for sure. I have personal experience with that. Like, people in my family have been misdiagnosed. It's especially prevalent amongst people of color, especially with like the history of eugenics and things in the United States, and how people of color have been generally treated medically here, and how fucking atrocious that is, has been and still is. Yeah, it's misdiagnosis is a huge problem. A huge, huge problem that has probably caused a lot of unnecessary death and suffering, honestly. Let me see. Evie, as mentioned, being allergic to any form of alcohol. I've had doctors and nurses in Michigan not listen to me about this and literally died from a routine blood test. Holy fucking shit. But here I make one mention of having allergies and they stop to listen. Yeah, I don't know what it is with Michigan and healthcare, but they're so fucking backwards. They are so fucking backwards and regressive. Like, the older I get and the longer I'm out of Michigan, and the more I learn about it, like from an outsider's perspective, the more I'm like, holy shit, that state is fucked. That state is fucked in more ways than one. And I do not envy you for having to live there for so long. And I'm very, very glad that you got out of there, because goddamn. Yeah. I know it says Dark Water. I know it as Dark Waters, and yes, I can recommend the docu movie. Just don't expect to get a more positive view on humanity of it. No, yeah, I've pretty much accepted that humanity in general is much, much better than the circumstances that we exist in, and it's largely due to capitalists and a very specific, very few core of them who have just corrupted and manipulated and just bastardized humanity as a whole. No, I fully feel you there. I get it. That's something that I probably will watch at some point, but call it like a file away for later when I'm not dealing with other shit. Prepare yourself, but definitely watch that one. They make up their new chemicals that aren't banned, and then watch groups and the like have to jump through hoops and red tape to get them banned. I'm not even slightly surprised by that. I mean, just given the fucking radium girls alone, that in and of itself, we are basically in the 21st century version of the Industrial Revolution, in my humble opinion, and everything that goes along with that, including all the human rights violations and long-term health repercussions that we have yet to learn about. I think in the next couple of decades, there's going to be some serious shit coming out, and it's not going to be good. Let me see here if I can catch up. I only recently discovered Mental Health Master on YouTube. Yeah, I discovered them too. I think I've watched maybe part of one or like one or two of their videos. That's definitely on my radar. Evie said it was just weird to go from basically 30. Oh, back to the Michigan healthcare thing. It was just weird to go from basically 30 years of never being believed by doctors and nurses to all of a sudden being treated like I'm a living, breathing human being, not just another paycheck. Yeah, and I think that's a great example of how kind of the Midwest in general is about 10 years behind the coasts in a lot of ways. Culturally, scientifically, in general, I think the further you get in, like from the coasts and from any kind of like significant cultural melting pot in the United States, the more insular and restrictive the culture becomes. And in Michigan, especially, I don't know what it is. It might be just a leftover of like the white flight out of Detroit from like the 50s and 60s. It's very, very insular and very, very anti-science and very, very anti-progress. And that obviously has ripple effects up to and including healthcare. It's very bizarre, kind of looking back at it from an outside perspective, having experienced it firsthand, obviously. Yeah, Michigan, I'm coming to find, is very unique and in a lot of ways worse than Ohio. So that's fun. Let's see. Rabbleby said John Oliver did a very good piece on racism in medical care in the USA. I think I caught that. I love John Oliver. I'm way behind on his content. I don't have HBO and I haven't been watching the clips on YouTube recently. But I love John Oliver. Yeah, I've been a fan of his show for as long as he's had his own show. It's been very, very cool to see. And I think he's actually had kind of a, obviously he focuses on comedy and started with, Jon Stewart and everything. And I loved Jon Stewart and I very much miss him. And I appreciate the work he's doing now, but God, his comedy was good. And so John Oliver, having started with and come from Jon Stewart, I think that definitely helped him. And I think it gave him an in with an American audience that he might not have had otherwise. And I think he's generally done a lot of good with it. He doesn't get everything right, obviously, but he's, a rich white British man in Hollywood. So like already he's done more than you would expect of that type. So yeah, that's pretty cool to see. I love John Oliver. I love Last Week Tonight. I really need to catch up with it. Let me see. Okay. Also included sexism. Yeah, I moved from the South to Midwest and I get better treatment in Wisconsin. Yeah, I will say the Midwest is better than the South in general, obviously. But unfortunately, a lot of the like racism and systemic issues in the Midwest are more, shall we say, de facto than de jure, meaning they're more just culturally established than legally. So my family does live in the South now, by the way. They are no longer in Oregon, which sucks, and I miss them. But yeah, they're in the South, so I'm a little more plugged into that than I was before. But yeah, that's a very unique, very not great situation, and I do not envy you for sure on that. Although I will say, yeah, in general, in some ways the Midwest is better than the South, and in some ways it's worse. Obviously that's a whole thing that you can get into in more ways than one. But in general, even just weather-wise, I prefer the Midwest to the South. I don't do well in extreme heat, and this heat in the Pacific Northwest with like climate change and everything, I'm cranky. Let's see. Oh, cool. So you guys are chatting again. Let me just catch up here. Brabble Beast says, it always surprises me how far the effect of racism go in the States. National Geographic recently did a piece on the correlation between the access to shadow in some cities and racism. Yeah, because we haven't fucking dealt with it. We haven't atoned for it, and we haven't started making up for it. Racism and just structural inequality is built into the entirety of the existence of the United States. I'm at the point where I don't believe a United States should exist. at all, and or should have to begin with, honestly. They stole the Constitution from a native tribe and took out all the parts that were important. So that's fun. Oops. I spilled a little there, excuse me. Yeah, no, the older I get and the more I learn about like the actual history of the United States and the actual motivations behind the Declaration of Independence and the Revolutionary War, the more and more I am of the opinion that the United States should never have existed in the first place. So that's fun. And our racism problem and our cultural problem and most of our issues stem from exactly that. So coming to understand that is not easy and not fun, and has potential far-reaching and long-lasting implications that I don't want to think about right now, honestly. Like, it's worth exploring and it's worth talking about and it's worth thinking about, of course, but it's too depressing to really get into, honestly, on a Saturday night or Sunday morning. Actually, if you guys can give me just a second, again, I'll be right back. The lighting is getting kind of weird, so I want to see if I can adjust it. Okay. I think I might wrap it up a little bit soon here. I'm just realizing it's been like 2.5 hours, and that's pretty long. But let me see if adjusting this light will help. Okay, yeah, that's better. The lighting's a bit weird because the sun is going down. Anyway, okay, let me catch up real quick, and I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up here in a few minutes. Just to have some more Saturday evening time, but I want to catch up. Okay. Interesting. I always learned that Ohio has been worse than Michigan. Here's the thing: they're worse than each other in different ways, right? Like Ohio at least has Appalachia in part of it. But yeah, they're kind of two sides of the same coin in several ways. I know Indiana is much more racist than Michigan, like astonishingly so, but thought Ohio also fall in between Indiana and Michigan. But I'm basing on experiences from people I know from there more than just statistics, so I could be way off. Yeah, honestly, it's like the entirety of the Midwest, every state has kind of its own issues and its own problems and in its own scale, right? So in some ways, yeah, Michigan is worse than Ohio, but in some ways, Ohio is worse than Michigan. And Indiana, had Pence for however long, so there's that. And most of the guns in Chicago come from Indiana, so that's how Illinois ties into that whole thing. Yeah, it's a fucking mess. So yeah, I will say, to clarify, yeah, Michigan is worse than Ohio in some ways, but Ohio is worse than Michigan in other ways. And having lived in both, I can say that from lived experience. So yeah, no, you're not wrong. I think it's just, again, kind of a cross section of different experiences, honestly. Lucy, in the South, everyone talks to everyone like they're old friends, and that's not a thing up here. LOL, but I don't miss that, but I do miss waving to strangers on the road. Yeah, and again, in the Pacific Northwest, it's very friendly, kind of in a similar way to the South. But it's kind of surface level and and shallow. Honestly, and it kind of ties back into the kind versus nice thing in a way. And again, my family's in the South now. I never lived in the South, and I never have, and probably never will. But from what I'm hearing from them, it's very, very reflective of your experience. So that's interesting. Let's see. Lucy said in the South. Oh wait, no, you said that already. Like how there was actually a Constitution of the Federation with, I think it was 9 presidents prior to George Washington, which wasn't at all taught in schools. You have to go to a specific college class to cover that topic. Yeah, and like the Federalist Papers and all of that stuff. And King George and his proclamation of everything west of the Appalachians and all of that. Yeah, it's a fuck show. Sorry, it might not be Federation. I'm trying to remember the exact word. I'm close. What was it? Confederation. Yeah. Again, the Confederacy in and of itself was only ever about slavery. This was, 100 years after the Revolutionary War, but it definitely played a part in the Revolutionary War because King George had made a proclamation about the sovereignty of Native peoples west of the Appalachians specifically, and B, outlawing the transatlantic African slave trade. And they did not like that. So, yeah, again, it's a whole thing I don't need to get into right now. Just a bizarre thought. The case of Ruby Bridges. Yeah, she's like my dad's age. Yeah, she's still alive. She's still active. Again, she's like only a year or two older than my dad, so that's very, very close. Ruby Bridges, the black girl that was one of the first black children to go to a previously white school, was only 61 years ago. Yeah, exactly. She's my dad's age. Like a lot of the people in those photos are the age of my grandparents. This was not that long ago. Ruby Bridges, the Little Rock Nine, all of that was our grandparents. Our parents and grandparents' generation. And a lot of those photos are in black and white deliberately, even though color photos existed at the time, in order to attempt to create more of a separation and more of an idea of how long ago it was, rather than how close it really is, in that it's literally still living history. Yeah, no, I fully agree with you. Yeah, and Ruby Bridges, again, that hits close to home because she's my dad's age. They're the same age, if not maybe a year or two apart. So like, yeah, that one hits. Damn it, my Star Trek knowledge is seeping in. We were talking about Star Trek briefly earlier. This means of the people that protested against this and called it the end of civilization, many probably still live, and if not them, their children do. That is shockingly close. Yeah, a lot of people in those photos are still alive. A lot of those people passed on those beliefs to their children, who have now had children. And yeah, it's generational, and it's deliberate, and it's insidious, and it's built into the entirety of the existence of the United States as a whole. And it's evil. I would go so far as to say it's evil, and ultimately a disservice to humanity. Do you watch C'est La Vie? They did a video on nice versus kind versus good. No, I didn't. I've never heard of them, actually. So that'll be good to look into. That'll be another one to add to the list. And speaking of, I just realized it's like 7:30 here, which means now that I'm looking at the timestamp, it's been about 2.5 hours. And I'm getting a little bit burnt out, to be honest. I think I'm going to end it here. The conversation is awesome, and I'd love to keep talking. I'm just getting tired. So this has been great. This has been fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody who came by and hung out. It's been really, really nice to kind of, 5:30 here. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. on Saturday here. So your Sunday's just getting started, dude. Yeah, I think I'm gonna head out and enjoy the rest of my Saturday evening. So thank you guys so much, seriously, and thank you for the support so far for the channel and for the content and everything. I'm, as much as I'm not thrilled about, I guess, my channel getting started this way, at least I'm glad for what it can become, right? So that being said, thank you again. I hope you all have a good rest of your Saturday evening, night, or Sunday morning. And I'll see you all very soon. All right. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night, day, whatever. Okay. Bye.